Welcome to Lotus Lane Daily. I'm glad you're here. Today's wisdom is for anyone trying to trust again after someone they believed in lied. You know that feeling when you're lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, and your mind keeps replaying the moment you found out? The exact words, the exact expression on their face, or the exact second you read that message and felt the floor drop out from under you. You keep thinking, how did I not see it? And then you think about every conversation, every moment you trusted them, and it all looks different now. Like you were looking at a painting in dim light and someone just switched on a lamp and revealed something ugly underneath. That's where you are right now. And it's one of the worst places a person can be. Betrayal is its own specific kind of pain. It's not like grief, where the loss came from outside you. With betrayal, someone you let in, someone you chose, is the one who caused the wound. That's what makes it so disorienting. You're not just dealing with what they did, you're dealing with the fact that you trusted them enough for them to do it. Why this feels like more than just being hurt. When someone we trust betrays us, two things break at once. The relationship, yes, but also something quieter and more personal. Our confidence in our own judgment. Suddenly, you don't just distrust them, you start distrusting yourself. You wonder if you're naive, if you miss things, if you're the kind of person this happens to. That second wound, the one you give yourself, often does more damage than the first one. And it's the one people talk about least. There's a reason betrayal hits so deep. We are wired as human beings to form bonds. Trust isn't just a nice idea, it's how we function. When we trust someone, we're not just deciding they're a good person. We're making ourselves a little more open, a little more vulnerable. We're saying, I'll lower my guard with you. When that gets exploited, the instinct is to never lower your guard again, to close, to protect. That instinct makes complete sense. But living that way, permanently armored, is a kind of slow suffocation. The part nobody tells you about betrayal. People will tell you to forgive. They'll say time heals everything. They'll offer opinions about the person who hurt you. What's wrong with them? What they deserve. Some of that might be true. None of it actually helps you at 2 a.m. What actually helps is understanding something about how pain works, not abstractly, but in your actual life. There's a line of thought from a lifetime of philosophical teaching that says something like this: courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is feeling fear, recognizing fear, and still taking action. Most people think courage means not being afraid. It doesn't. It means being afraid and doing the necessary thing anyway. Right now, you're afraid of being hurt again, afraid to trust again, afraid that your judgment is broken, that fear is completely real and completely valid. The question isn't how to make it disappear. The question is what you do while it's still there, what you're actually dealing with. Be honest with yourself. Before anything else, you need to let yourself be angry and sad without immediately trying to fix it or process it into something useful. Betrayal deserves to be felt, not performed, not analyzed too quickly, just felt. A lot of people skip this part because sitting with that kind of pain is genuinely awful. They jump straight to trying to understand why the person did it, or whether to forgive them, or what the lesson is. All of that comes later. Right now, the most honest thing you can do is admit, this hurt me, a lot, and I didn't deserve it. Say that to yourself plainly, not as a victim statement, not as a self-pity spiral, just as a fact. What happened was real. The pain is real. You're allowed to name it without immediately having to do something about it. The thing about your own judgment. Here's what I want to say directly, because this is the part that tends to quietly destroy people long after the betrayal itself. Trusting someone who turned out to be untrustworthy does not mean your judgment is broken. It means you're human. It means you gave someone the benefit of the doubt, which is not stupidity. It's generosity. It's what allows any relationship to function at all. The person who never trusts anyone is not wise. They're just protected. And protection of that kind has enormous costs. The people who hurt us are often very good at being trusted. That's how it works. If it were obvious they were untrustworthy, you wouldn't have trusted them. The fact that you were deceived says something about their skill at deception, not about your failure to detect it. That distinction matters enormously. Sit with it for a moment. Some practical things that actually help. Write it down. Not for anyone to read, just for you. Write what happened, what you thought was true, what turned out to be false. Getting it out of your head and onto a page or a notes app at 2 a.m., which is fine, takes some of the pressure off your nervous system. You stop having to hold it all inside. Talk to one person you trust, just one for now. Not to get their opinion on the person who hurt you, but just so someone else knows what you're going through. Isolation after betrayal is extremely common and extremely bad for you. Even one honest conversation helps. Resist the urge to decide things too quickly. Don't decide you'll never trust anyone again. Don't decide you need to forgive right now either. Don't decide what this means about you, about relationships, about people in general. You're in the middle of something. Decisions made in the middle of pain tend to be too absolute. And give yourself time to be angry, but try not to live there permanently. Anger is a completely legitimate response to betrayal. It's actually healthier than immediately collapsing into self-blame. But anger that never moves eventually curdles into bitterness. And bitterness punishes you more than it punishes anyone else. On rebuilding without pretending it's easy. One of the ideas that I keep coming back to from centuries of philosophical reflection is this: that what we have lived does not simply disappear. The things we experienced, the care we gave, the relationships we built, even the ones that broke, they continue to shape who we are and who we become. Nothing is simply erased. That sounds abstract, but here's what it means practically. The love or friendship you put into that relationship was real. The betrayal is real too. But the trust you extended, that capacity to care about someone, to let them matter to you, that's still yours. It wasn't taken from you when they betrayed you. It's still in you. The question is just how and when and with whom you extend it next. Rebuilding trust after betrayal is not about going back to how you were before. You can't unknow what you now know about them, about how people can disappoint you. But you can learn to trust again with your eyes a little more open, not cynically, not defensively, just more honestly. Trust that is built with that kind of awareness is actually more solid than trust that was innocent of any knowledge of risk. About the person who hurt you. You don't have to forgive them right now. Anyone who tells you that you do is wrong. Forgiveness, if it comes in its own time. What you can do right now is stop making their actions mean something permanent about you. What they did reflects them. Your pain reflects how much you cared. Those are two different things. You don't have to understand why they did it either. Sometimes people do things that are genuinely hard to explain. Selfishness, fear, weakness, their own unaddressed damage. Understanding might come eventually, or it might not. You can heal without it. What I actually want you to know. If you're reading this at 2 a.m., you're not broken. You're in pain, which is different. Being in pain means something happened that mattered to you. It means you were open enough to be hurt. That openness, which right now feels like your greatest weakness, is also what makes genuine connection possible at all. The ceiling isn't going to give you any answers tonight, but you got through today, and that's enough for now. Be a little gentle with yourself this week. Not forever, just this week. You're dealing with something genuinely hard, and you deserve some of the same patience you would probably offer to a friend in the same situation. You'll find your way through this, not because of a quote or an article, but because people do, and so will you. That's the wisdom for today. If something here landed for you, share it with one person who might need to hear it too. Take it slow. I'll see you tomorrow on Lotus Lane Daily.